Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I please Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I please request that you stand as the procession will now enter.
You may be seated. Good evening, Vice-Chancellor. Good evening, members of the Senior Executive of the University of Johannesburg, to academic members of Senate, to all members of the UJ community. A special welcome also to recipients of the awards today, and especially to the families and friends who have come to be present at this event. This evening we celebrate recipients of the VICE Awards in different categories. The categories have been defined to celebrate excellence, which remains a core objective in the university. The evening is about celebrating success, whilst recognizing that UJ is about transforming lives. We do this with inspirational teaching and learning, research that is exceptional and essential, and community engagement that makes a difference. The proceedings of today will commence with the Teaching Award as set out in the program in front of you. I have two instructions given to me by our media team. Firstly, this is being live streamed on YouTube. Secondly, we have a social media presence on Facebook and on Twitter. And the instructions for the award winners and those who are giving out the awards is to just pause for a minute when you come here, because the photographer will be right here, and to give them sufficient time to take a photograph. The second instruction is that at the end of this evening, if you could please just wait, if you're an award winner, for a group photograph outside this venue. I'd now like to call upon the first award, which is the Teaching Award for the Most Promising Young Teacher of the Year, and Professor Porek, who is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic. And Prof. Rory Ryan, who is the Executive Director of Academic Development and Support, will be reading out the citation on behalf of Prof. Porek.
Didn't say that I got
I didn't want to say it, but Prof. Porek has had work on her teeth this afternoon and she's in some pain. Good evening, everyone. I'll be reading out the citation for the recipient of the Vice-Chancellor's Distinguished Award, Most Promising Young Teacher of the Year, Ms. Monique Kiwi. At the heart of Monique Kiwi's teaching philosophy is her belief that all people are learners, always actively searching for and constructing new meanings, always learning. As a teacher of financial accounting who holds a master's degree in accounting pedagogy, Monique knows how important it is for her students to be well equipped for the workplace and to be able to apply their knowledge in a range of different situations. To do this, they need to think critically, to solve unanticipated problems, and to act independently. With this in mind, and as an imaginative and insightful co-learner and facilitator, Monique has developed innovating and challenging learning opportunities for students which involve real-life situations. She recognizes that her students' prior experience is a crucial part of their learning, so she uses this very successfully to move from familiar ideas to new ones. Monique's belief that the most valuable learning happens through high levels of participation and interaction means that from very early on, her students are fully engaged in their learning. They have many opportunities to analyze a range of case studies describing a variety of business environments, to consider differing interpretations, and to evaluate the opinions of others. The Nedbank case study, which has evolved over the past few years, is a good example of this. The project is a collaboration between Monique, her students, and senior staff from Nedbank, and involves a complex 7-point process beginning with a detailed analysis of Nedbank and ending with student presentations to a simulated credit committee. It is as close to an authentic experience for students as it is possible to get, and as such stands them in very good stead for their future profession. Monique's student evaluations reveal that they recognize her as a teacher who is passionate about her work and who is totally committed to ensuring their academic success. We agree completely with the students about this and wish to congratulate you, Monique, and to wish you well. We have no doubt that you're on your way to even greater achievements in the future at UJ. Congratulations.
I think Professor Palek, you can come forward. I don't think your dental issues will interfere with your study.
And congratulations as well.
Maybe, Rodi, if you could announce what is the price.
Sorry, this is the live stream.
Chair, if I may, and if I recall correctly, the prize is 50,000 Rand to the 25,000 Rand to the research account of the recipient. MC, thank you. It's my pleasure to read out the citation for the recipient of the Vice-Chancellor's Distinguished Award for Teacher Excellence, and it goes to Professor Johnson Carroll. When Johnson Carroll joined the Faculty of Engineering in the built environment in 2010, very few people had any idea of what a significant and unique impact he was to make. First on his own students' learning experiences, but also on those of his colleagues and their students. This is because Johnson brought with him an extraordinary combination of skills that few others possess. He has both exceptional levels of expertise in electrical and electronic engineering and a passion for engineering education, which focuses primarily on high-quality teaching and learning. Now, as the engineering education specialist in the Dean's office, he works alongside his colleagues across the faculty in numerous ways and develops innovative projects that have resulted in the unique profile on which the faculty is justifiably renowned. Johnson's teaching philosophy is premised on his interpretation of Kuhn's statement that to know something is to be able to use that thing to effect desired change. The ability to use knowledge in concrete ways and a commitment to effecting social change are the two principles from which he has developed an impressive engineering epistemology, which offers his students a solid foundation from which they can build. Johnson realizes that many students enter the faculty with a sense of certainty about the nature of engineering. And so, beginning from this point, he aims to facilitate students' awareness that the world of engineering is not a place of certainty and stability, but one which is complex and constantly in flux. To reach this understanding, students engage in a wide range of exciting and challenging learning activities in and out of the classroom, where they learn to work together, to debate, to analyze, and to solve problems. One of Johnson's most impressive achievements is his development of an innovative assessment system which directly reflects his philosophy, moving away from traditional methods and offering students authentic assessment tasks that require understanding and application. More than that, however, he has ensured that for each assessment, students need to meet all the learning outcomes rather than just some of them. This contribution has earned him recognition and respect both at UJ and more broadly. There is no doubt that Johnson's special insights into the learning process and his collaborative, inclusive initiatives have resulted in a thriving culture of teaching and learning in the faculty. And this award is in recognition of his unique contribution and his total commitment to improving learning experiences of engineering students at UJ. Vice-Chancellor,
Please go on. Where is the... I think your daughter joined you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can say that on the research side, the dentistry was not part of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of introducing the most promising researcher of the year, Professor Penny Govender. Penny, you could wave. And let's give Penny a round of applause. Professor Govender is a computational chemistry specialist and the head of Department of Applied Chemistry in the Faculty of Science. She obtained her PhD from Wits University in 2013 while a full-time academic staff member at the University of Johannesburg. Her research focuses on energy and water, two important global challenges. One of the global challenges of the 21st century is energy and photocatalytic generation of hydrogen is one of the sustainable ways of addressing this problem. However, hydrogen evolution reactions normally use expensive rare noble metals, and this makes the method not viable for the developing world. In addressing this problem, Professor Govender has put forward the use of low-cost bismuth niobium oxide heterostructures as an alternative and suitable material for photocatalytic hydrogen production. So in case you were wondering what the MW04 stood for, that's the photocatalytic component, a first in the field. Through her expertise, she was able to, with the aid of density functional theory, provide detailed information on the synergistic effect, ionization energy, electron affinities, charge transfer, electronic properties, and the underlying mechanism for hydrogen generation of bismuth niobium oxide heterostructures. These factors have been very difficult to investigate via conventional lab methods. Towards addressing environmental pollution from use of organic materials in our day-to-day lives, Professor Govender has used geochemical modeling to predict the fate and transport of both organic and inorganic pollutants. She has been part of development of an Android-based application which, alongside the use of a quick test kit and entry of variables such as for pH, temperature, and conductivity, among others, and is able to inform water quality before usage. This has potential to assist developing countries in their efforts to cost-effectively control pollutants and reduce the risk of many non-communicable waterborne diseases. Alongside the first author peer-reviewed journal articles from her doctoral studies, she has published a further 44 journal articles in ISI-accredited journals over the last 5 years and as corresponding author. Professor Govender has also authored 6 books, chapters to date, her Scopus and Google Scholar H indices from 2013 to date are 9 and 10 respectively, and a field-weighted citation impact of 1.07, indicating that her publications are more cited by 7% than others in her field globally. As a mentor, she has successfully supervised 3 doctoral and 5 master's students and a master's graduate, and is currently supervising 4 doctoral and 3 master's students through her applied research program, 3 provisional patent applications, for which she is an inventor that has also been prepared. She has served as an expert reviewer for several national and international research programs and awards and scientific journals. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Penny Govender as well as the Vice-Chancellor for this award.
As you were reading, I was wondering whether if we give Professor Parek a test on what Penny has done, how well she will do.
I wouldn't underestimate Professor Parek's ability to understand.
Actually, I thought she was going to get more than 90%. Good to see you. Okay.
The Vice-Chancellor just whispered and said, I need to say the award. This is the 250,000 rands award over, of which 50% can be taken home. Is that what they mean? I don't know about that. There would be tax implications, though. I'm not saying that. I'm not encouraging you to leave the money with the university, but, you know. Our next recipient, who's unable to join us, and this award will be made in absentia, is the award for the Outstanding Researcher of the Year, Professor Marlies Lombard. I think we can give her a round of applause. She might be. I hope that she's viewing this in the live stream. Professor Lombard is a Stone Age archaeology expert and the director of the Center for Anthropological Research at the University of Johannesburg, which has been approved by Senate in May this year to become the Paleo Research Institute. Her journey at the university began as a senior lecturer in 2010 and with a promotion to full professor in 2016. She is only the second archaeologist in the country to attain this academic track and rank. Professor Lombard leads the interdisciplinary Paleo Tracks, which stands for Tracing Ancient Cognition and Knowledge Systems Through the Stone Age Period. Research program with several international collaborators. Her research focuses on Middle and earlier Stone Ages between roughly 1 million and 30,000 years ago in sub-Saharan Africa, where Homo sapiens evolved biologically, behaviorally, and cognitively and contributes to the debate on cognitive and genetic trends in the evolution of Homo sapiens and indigenous knowledge systems in southern Africa. Professor Lombard is an NRF B-rated researcher and has published 35 peer-reviewed publications over the past 5 years. She has published more than 70 research articles since the start of her professional academic career in 2002. Her publications cover a range of disciplines, including anthropology, human genetics, archaeology, and publications in top-ranking international journals, including Science. Professor Lombard has also written popular articles for the broader public, ensuring that her research is accessible to all. Her Scopus and Google Scholar H indices over the recent 5-year period are 25 and 31 respectively, and with a field-weighted citation impact of 2.28. Her publications are cited. That means that her publications are cited are cited 128% more than the average in the subject fields globally. She is an active member of 6 national and international professional associations and research groups, and accredited by the Association of Southern African Professional Archaeologists and the South African Heritage Resources Agency for Cultural Resources Management, and is a principal investigator for specialist lithic analysis and Stone Age expertise, and as a field director for Iron Age. She has served as editor of the South African Archaeological Bulletin, which is among the top 15% of archaeological journals worldwide, and currently serves on 3 editorial boards. She is leading the establishment of New Hub for Human Origins Research and mentoring young South African paleoscientists in permanent and long-term contract positions, thereby expanding the universities and thus the country's research specialization and specialists in this field. Professor Lombard has supervised 7 master's, 6 doctoral candidates, and 3 postdoctoral fellows since 2013. During the 5-year period, she has raised 7.9 million rands in research grants and delivered several keynote addresses at conferences, in addition to sharing her research at 30 and more local and international conferences and symposia. Her achievements have received national recognition, and most recently by Minister Kubai Ngubane of the Department of Science and Technology as the second runner-up for 2018 Distinguished South African Women in Science Award in the area of humanities and social sciences. On behalf of Professor Lombard, I would like to call Stephanie Baker to come and receive this award. And Stephanie is a member of her group, and she's also a lecturer at the University of Johannesburg. So Stephanie, welcome.
As I was sitting next to Professor Padek, I was convinced here that this is not Marlies.
Yes.
And she couldn't believe it. She tried to show me the picture to convince me that you are indeed Marlies.
Vice Chancellor, here's the, would you like to?
No, let me
Okay. Okay. Oh, you, so we have a mismatch of the photos. There you go. You can hold this. Right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Where do you have to go?
I still have 2 more awards. I was just whispering to Stephanie that we really welcome those articles in Science, and the Vice-Chancellor told me it's a good idea that we should have some more in that particular journal. I have the next award recipient is I seem to have the order the other way around. Yeah, it's the 2018 The Book of the Year Award. The book is Believable Evidence by Professor Veli Mitova, and the book was published in Cambridge University Press. I have the ISBN in here as well, but I know that you will be Googling for this text. Professor Veli Mitova, let's give her a round of applause. Professor Veli Mitova is an associate professor in the Faculty of Humanities and currently the head of Department of Philosophy. After completing her undergraduate studies and master's studies at Rhodes University and graduating with a doctoral degree from Cambridge University in 2007, she furthered her research and academic training as a Mellon postdoctoral research fellow at Rhodes University, then at the National Autonomous University of Mexico and the Institute for Philosophy at the University of Vienna. Her research lies at the intersection of epistemology and metaethics, focusing in the past few years on the nature of evidence and reasons for belief. Believable Evidence, the 2018 Book of the Year, was published by the prestigious Cambridge University Press and globally one of the top, and this is one of the top 2 publishers in the field of philosophy. The book argues that evidence consists of true beliefs, a radically novel view of evidence changing the landscape of epistemology in a fundamental way. The basic idea is that once we take seriously the thought that evidence is a good reason for belief, we need it to be appropriately connected both to the world and to the believer's psychology. The book defends the claim that true belief meets these criteria, adducing support from 3 areas of philosophy: philosophy of action, epistemology, and meta-epistemology. Professor Mitova's sophisticated but clearly expressed argumentation is a substantial contribution to a central theme in contemporary philosophy, and it will have a large and lasting impact. Expert reviews state that Veli Mitova's work is clearly world-class. It is extremely gratifying to have a South African-trained philosopher making a contribution that is truly exceptional, in fact, a game changer, and calls her a remarkable young philosopher whose intelligence, strength, and originality shines through everything she writes. Believable Evidence was presented to the University of Vienna in Austria in fulfillment of the requirements for a habilitation, the highest academic qualification in Europe and an accolade for which the university is extremely proud. Believable Evidence is prescribed reading for postgraduate course at Rhodes University and recommends as course reading at Johns Hopkins University in the United States. With regard to current projects, Professor Mitova is also the South African team leader of the Geography of Philosophy project, which includes collaborators at Pittsburgh and Rutgers, as well as interdisciplinary teams from China, Eastern Europe, Ecuador, India, Japan, Morocco, Peru, and South Korea. She has recently embarked on a new project on epistemic injustice, reasons, and agency. The project is funded by a British Academy Newton Advanced Fellowship and is a collaboration with the University of Kent, as well as a part of the umbrella Rationality and Power project at the UJ African Centre for Epistemology and Philosophy of Science. May I also add that she has just been rated by the NRF. So could I please invite Professor Mitova and the Vice-Chancellor on this award occasion. The Vice-Chancellor is whispering how much, and this prize is a 60,000 Rand grant And of course, books are great, colleagues, because they bring us additional research income, which I'm sure you will also benefit and your research will benefit from. Congratulations. Okay, how do you want to do it? Let's do that thing. Right. You get up this. Thanks, congratulations. All right. Thanks. The next award is a Global Excellence in Stature Award, which is being again presented in absentia. Professor Muna Undulo is the recipient. He's a professor of law, Elizabeth and Arthur Rich Director, Leo and Arvila Berger International Legal Studies Program, and Director of the Institute for African Development at Cornell Law School, Cornell University. Muna Ndulo Professor Ndulo received his DPhil at Trinity College in Oxford in 1977. Before then, he studied for his LLM at Harvard Law School. He received his LLB from the University of Zambia in 1970. Professor Ndulo has a close and solid relationship with the university, and through his role as director of the Institute for African Development at Cornell, Professor Ndulo runs a successful collaborative study abroad program in collaboration with the University of Johannesburg's Faculty of Law called Law and Social Change. Through his work at the University of Johannesburg and internationally, particularly on the African continent, Professor Ndulo consistently foregrounds the values of the University of Johannesburg. Professor Ndulo has served as a legal officer in the International Trade Law Branch of the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, political and legal advisor with the United Nations Observer Mission in South Africa, and to the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General to South Africa. He's been a legal advisor to the United Nations Assistant Mission to East Timor, legal expert to the United Nations Mission to Kosovo, the legal expert to the United Nations Mission to Afghanistan. He has been an arbitrator under the International Chamber of Commerce. Professor Ndulo is the founder of the Southern African Institute for Public Policy and Research and a member of its board of directors. He is also a member of the board of the African Association of International Law, the Advisory Committee of Human Rights Watch in Africa, and he formerly served as chairperson for Gender Links, a South African NGO. Professor Ndulo is an internationally recognized scholar in the fields of constitution making, governance, and institution building, human rights, and foreign direct investments. He has published 19 books, 29 book chapters, and over 100 articles in academic journals. In addition, he has published over 100 newspaper and magazine articles on matters relating to trade and investment, governance, and constitution making. Professor Ndulo is a frequent radio commentator on issues making the news, adding value by sharing his expertise. Professor Ndulo is a recipient of many awards and honors internationally, among others the Distinguished Africanist Scholar Award by the New York Association of Africanist Studies. He is currently a visiting professor of law, University of Zambia, and the Edward Clyde Distinguished Visiting Scholar at the University of Utah. He serves on advisory boards of the International Journal of Legislative Drafting and Law Reform, Zambia Law Journal, Commonwealth Legal Education Association, the Review Group on Study on Women, Peace and Security, which was established pursuant to the Security Council Resolution 1325 in 2000, and coordinated by the Special Advisor of the Secretary General on Gender Issues and Advancement of Women, Human Rights Watch Advisory Council for Africa. the Inter-African Network for Human Rights and Development Advisory Council. I would like to invite the Dean, Professor Letlokwa Mpedi, to receive this award on behalf of Professor Muna Ndulo.
What is, how much is it?
This one, you feel legally obliged not to receive.
Yes.
There you go. This award has an honorarium of $5,000 US, and we will transact at the appropriate time of the rand-dollar exchange.
I'll make sure he gets it. Thank you. Do you keep it or shall I keep it for him?
Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Basil Mugwena, who is the recipient for the award for service beyond the normal call of duty. Basil joined the University of Johannesburg in 2002 when he was employed as a residence manager, a position he held at different residences up to 2013. In 2013, he was appointed head residences, and in November 2014, he was appointed head privately owned student accommodation, a position he held until March 2018. In April this year, he was promoted to the position of Director, Student Life and Governance. And Mr. Mugwena also serves as a residence warden on the Doornfontein campus. He has given meaningful input into fostering relationships with UJ stakeholders regarding the provision of quality accommodation to the students of the university. In the wake of some frustrating processes of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, with regard to the allowances for student accommodation and the limited number of student accommodation on campus, Mr. Mugwena has invested his efforts in securing privately owned student accommodation, the so-called POSA, that meets UJ's accreditation standards and government minimum requirements to private accommodation, to accommodate 18,000 students who could not be accommodated on campus. In addition to the provision of student accommodation, he has ensured that security issues and the safety of our students at privately owned student accommodation be prioritized. He has facilitated the formation of security forums, which include the police, UJ and other communities. He has also ensured that the high-rise privately owned student accommodation buildings make provision for the UJ organized student life activities in their respective spaces. For example, the election of house committees and the creation of academic spaces. As it stands, the accreditation process of privately owned student accommodation of the university is a leading example in the country and beyond. And many South African universities are still benchmarking with UJ on these processes. He continuously ensures that the accreditation process works and remains beneficial to the university with minimal risks. He has also ensured that the university raises funds through the application process for accreditation by introducing a model that aligns to the scale and capacity of various POSA providers. As a result, UJ raised 2.7 million in 2017 and 3.3 million in 2018. As a house warden of one of the UJ residences, Basil provides guidance to ensure that the student residence model works optimally. He has introduced the patron model, which presents a platform for mentoring of students by people who are already in industries. and he has also developed processes that are broadly applied in residence life, such as study times, life skill coaching and training. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice-Chancellor, Mr. Mogoena is an exemplar of what it means to provide service to the university that goes beyond the normal call of duty. Thank you. Congratulations. Well done. The VCs asked me just to share the amount. It is 100,000.
Once again, congratulations to our recipients, and I think we can give them another round of applause. Now, perhaps people can ask, why do we award such awards? The reason why we award such awards is because we want to appreciate. We want to appreciate the good work that has been done by our staff, both academic and support. Because it is through what these people have done that we are going to achieve the 4th Industrial Revolution at University of Johannesburg. It is through what these people have done that we are going to achieve global excellence and stature. As I was listening to some of the CVs, to all the CVs being read, I couldn't help realize that all of them were long. They were long because these people have done many things in their careers, some here at the University of Johannesburg, but also in the outside world. For example, Professor Johnson Carroll, who actually comes from Texas. So the achievements that he makes extend all the way from where he comes from, and he brought many good ideas, especially in the Faculty of Engineering when I was a dean. Obviously, I was hoping that your daughter was going to come and join us here so that she can share the stage with you, because I'm sure she did contribute. She gave you time. She gave you time to be able to do the work that you're supposed to do. So this is good work that has been done. So as the University of Johannesburg, where are we going? And why are we going there? You see, I was advised that you are speaking too much about the 4th Industrial Revolution. And I'm reminded of, I don't know who said this, that if you really want to see things driven to success, you should say it so much that if you were to wake the individuals expected to execute, they should be able to answer questions without any difficulties. And I'm not going to put you to a test. But where we are going is really to change society for the better. As the CV was written, Professor Parek was asking me, what about superstition? I was trying to figure out how does superstition actually links to this. That was when Professor Mitova, your your work was being read. And I'm also wondering, where does superstition actually, where is it located? Hopefully it is located in the past, not into our future. As we're talking about millions of years is terrifying for those who believe that the world is only 5,000 years old. But it's really what it is all about. These are exciting things, uncovering the truth for the benefit of society, and not just from a utilitarian perspective, not just because it changes our physical state of mind, but also because it actually changes for the better our mental state of mind. Ideas are important not necessarily because they are useful from a materialistic perspective, but because they are also important from an intellectual perspective. And this is what we do as a university. We pursue knowledge, whether we are not sure whether that knowledge will be useful in the next 1,000 years. It is an important knowledge to actually be uncovered. With those few words, congratulations to the recipients. Thank you very much to the people who have come to witness this ceremony. Some of the people who are witnessing this ceremony are not here physically because we are the University of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. We are actually streaming this event for posterity so that in future people can be able to view this material and say that this actually happened at the University of Johannesburg. And with those few words, we welcome you to come and enjoy refreshments on the other side. But please stand up for the procession to depart from the building.
We also need the winners to just remain behind.
And the winners, please don't leave. We need to take a group picture. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it doesn't get at the number. I'll give you 10 next year. Yeah, I'm already with 4. Really? So next year, yeah. That's good.